Hi everyone. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the change formula that I've come up with over the course of many years actually as a therapist, and I'm realizing that one of the main reasons that people come to therapy is because they're navigating a change, usually an unwanted change or series of changes. And the other main reason is when people want to make a change but are struggling to do that. So I've called it the change formula. It's actually, I think of it as a life enhancement formula too, because it contains some really cool skills and tools and techniques from acceptance and commitment therapy that, just help make life more meaningful and valuable, I guess. So going back to last year, about this time last year, when I was really struggling with my own symptoms of perimenopause, and as I spoke about in the last video, I experienced more of the psychological symptoms of menopause than the physical ones. So I was feeling pretty anxious, pretty overwhelmed, confused, scared about what was going on and why I suddenly felt like I just couldn't do anything anymore. And I I asked myself one of my favourite therapy questions. What kind of therapy geek has their favourite therapy questions? I'm sure I'm not alone in that. But anyway, I asked myself one of my favourite therapist questions, which is, if a really good friend of mine was going through what I was going through or what I'm going through, what would I say to them? How would I say it? What would I do for them? How would I be towards them? And it hit me in the face. You know, sometimes you can't see what's staring you in the face. It seemed so obvious that, well, you have all of these tools and techniques that you've been using with other people for years to help them to navigate changes, including menopause symptoms. How about using them on yourself? So when I realized that I actually had everything that I needed to help me to navigate the change and to get through it. And then I started to think, wouldn't it be really good if you didn't just get through it, but if you actually thrived and came through it or grew through it, and came out of the other side as an even better version of myself. So that's when I started to tweak this change formula a little bit and make it a little bit more specific to perimenopause and menopause journey. So I'm not going to go on about it loads today, happily. You'll be relieved to hear. I just wanted to share with you, I guess, the three components, and briefly introduce the skill sets. Over the coming weeks, I will be doing some videos that share a little bit more about each of the three components of the change formula, and sharing some different examples of activities that you can try. But for today, I'm just going to introduce each part very briefly. So the change formula always starts with assessing where you are now. I've called this part Steady Me, and because I'm a very visual person, it was important to me that I almost had like a code or shortcut for these different skill sets. And the symbol that I've chosen for Steady Me is that of an anchor, and I see Steady Me as the skill set of noticing, observing, gathering information about where I am, what's happening, tuning into my body, my mind, my surroundings, the present moment. Mindfulness is a fundamental part of the Steady Me skill set too. So being able to notice without judging what's going on. The ability to pause or to stop, because it's very difficult to talk yourself out of a downward spiral, for instance, when you're really caught up in an anxiety spiral or a downward spiral. So just that ability to take a breath, to pause, to notice what's going on, gives you the opportunity to make a choice about what you want your next move to be, which links into the next part of the change formula, which I called Guide Me. And the symbol for that is a compass. And Guide Me is all about clarifying what's most important to you right now. And I say right now because our values and priorities change throughout our lives, depending on circumstances and where we're at. So the ability to clarify what's important to you right now, how you want to be, how you want to show up for yourself, is really important and helpful when we're trying to navigate a change. Just being clear about the direction that we want to be heading in. Even if we don't know the specifics, it can be really empowering to align with our personal values and do what matters. And of course, whenever something's important, it brings up painful feelings as well as all the good stuff. So that's where the last part of the change formula comes in, which I called Free Me. And the symbol for that is a swallow. I chose a swallow because they always look so completely free and graceful, and they take up so much space in the sky. So yeah, that was a really powerful image for me. And Free Me helps us to recognize the self stories that we've developed or been told over the years, to validate those, to look at the unhelpful, and not always unhelpful actually, but to look at the coping strategies that we've developed and the rules that we've developed to help us to live our lives, and to just check in with whether or not those are serving us anymore. And then through using some really nice, creative tools and exercises, we can learn to hold these big feelings, particularly it seems like feelings of guilt and shame, and fear, anxiety, and poor self-confidence seem to show up a lot during perimenopause and menopause. So Free Me helps us to recognize what's going on and how to hold those feelings and thoughts and beliefs a bit more lightly, so that we can move in the valued direction that we want to move in. I noted down earlier on, when sometimes things just kind of come to you, and as I was preparing to share this video with you, I was trying to simplify down that change formula more and more. and make it more and more succinct. Don't know how I'm doing. I've been talking for nearly 10 minutes, so you can be the judge of that. But it struck me that Study Me is about reconnecting. So reconnecting with body, mind, with the present moment. Guide Me is about realigning your actions with your values, doing what matters. And Free Me is about redefining. It's like an opportunity to change the story, to change the narrative, to write your own menopause story, write your own journey. Yes, so reconnect, realign and redefine, in a nutshell, is what the change formula is all about. I hope it's been helpful to hear. I just wanted to add, actually, before I finish up, that me recording these videos that feel so uncomfortable and cringy and self-conscious for me, it's only possible for me to do this because I'm using all of those skill sets in the change formula. So just the ability to pause before I start recording and to clarify what's going on, what matters to me most, what this is in the service of, and to be able to free up from those quite loud and constant self-critical thoughts that I have whenever I'm doing something a bit outside of my comfort zone. Sure, I'm not alone there too. Yeah, it wouldn't be possible for me to be here talking to you, doing this thing that I really care about but scares the crap out of me, if I wasn't practicing what I preach and using this change formula to help me. So for better or worse, I'm here today talking to you because of practicing those 3 key skill sets. I'm going to sign off now, but I hope you have a great weekend, and if you have any questions or if there's anything that you'd like me to cover, get in touch. You can find my contact details on my website, which is www.makingyourway.co.uk, and you'll also find me on Instagram at menopause psychotherapist, and also at Navigation for Living too. Yeah, until next week. Bye for now.